Hey guys, welcome to Talk of the Town. I am your host, Jessa Jeremiah, and we have an excellent episode for you. We have Conscious Carnivore coming up, and Fleet Feet Sports are here to tell us about the latest and greatest in physical activity. But first, we have our health news partner. We got to check in with Dr. Marcia Schaefer. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. Well, we're glad to have you back. So you always bring the latest and greatest in health news, and today we're going to talk about ear infections. So tell us a little bit about the prevention specifically of children's ear infections, and what sort of choices do parents have when it comes to ear infections and preventative care?
Well, there's actually a couple choices. You can choose to treat or you could choose to not treat the ear infection. The American Academy of Pediatrics is actually adopting a wait and watch policy because the evidence-based research on antibiotic use in ear infection is actually ineffective, and they're showing that kids that are treated with antibiotics are actually 2 to 6 times more likely to have recurrent ear infections. So chiropractic is a really great option to help the body function normally, which is not having ear infections.
Interesting. And this is always so enlightening for me when you come on, is how many things are affected by, it's the whole body, right? So chiropractic care and how much it affects all these different areas of health is just fascinating to me. And that's why we need to have you on our show. But talk to us a little bit, in your opinion, what is maybe the main problem that causes ear infections?
Well, so we know it's a structural problem. There's a tube that's in the ear, and that's typically what people are saying, the tube is blocked and it's not working. Well, if you go a little bit deeper, it's to understand that the muscles and the nerves in the neck, if they're working properly, your ear is going to drain. So there's actually a muscle that surrounds that tube, and that muscle is powered by the C1 nerve. So it's the top nerve in the spine. And if that nerve is impinged or it's blocked, which actually very oftentimes happens in the birth process, it can cause that muscle to spasm. That spasm in the muscle will clamp down on that tube, not allowing the ear to drain properly. So if you remove that interference, the muscle will relax and the ear will be able to drain better.
Wow, so interesting, all this stuff, that you don't think is connected. It's just very interesting. And what about teething? Is there a connection to teething and ear infections?
Absolutely, that's one of the most common things, but you have to think about the teething process. You're having teeth come through your gums, so these little kids, when the tooth is starting to come up, their gums get a lot more fluid in them. So you're going to notice the nose is running, the drool, a lot more drool, the eyes, inner ear infection, all that stuff happens, and it's completely normal. The fluid builds up in the gums because it's going to back off some of the blood, it's going to deaden some of the nerves so the tooth can come through. And then the next process, the tooth comes actually through the skin and the body starts a fever. Now you got to think, why does your dishwasher, when you're washing your dishes, why does your dishwasher get so hot? It's got to kill the bugs. Right. So that fever is really, really good for the body to prevent any bugs that might be happening in that process. So it's not that it's going to stop your child from experiencing any of those things, but under regular chiropractic care, if everything is working properly, that's going to be a much easier process for your child to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting, all these things that you don't think about, and you're our health expert. So last time when you came on, you talked about juicing.
Right.
We learned all kinds of important things about that. But what about dietary changes for kids? Is there something that parents can do to help in that aspect for their children?
Absolutely. Two of the biggest problems when it comes to chronic ear infections is pasteurized dairy and refined white sugars. Those two things just create a lot of mucus and a lot of just sludge in the body, and it doesn't allow the body to function properly. If the child is not having a good vitamin D3 or a good omega-3 supplement, those are two great ways, if it's not in the diet, to get that into the diet somehow or supplement with it.
Very good. And last, I want to make sure we get to this question, but what about, we know that chiropractic care is connected to so many different things. So what about a chiropractic adjustment can help kids before, during, and after teething for parents at home watching?
Right. Well, suppressing symptoms is going to do nothing but prolong the process of what is going on in the body, and chiropractors recognize that. So all aspects of our life, we're constantly adapting to the stresses that are dealing with us, how we eat, how we move, how we think, all of these things affect us. So your body's ability to adapt is going to determine how well you thrive, and that's where we excel. We want your body to thrive, and we allow that to happen.
Absolutely. Well, gosh, you always have such interesting information, and again, I'm always just fascinated to learn how many things are affected, that holistic, whole body thing that we come to you for. So thank you so much for that information. If you are looking for Dr. Marcia Schaefer, you can find her at Spring Creek Family Chiropractic. And if you're wondering what the Middleton Players Theater is up to, stick around because they're going to be here right after the break.